Bernstein, and we're going to give it a little bonus coverage now as we go to a 4-round fight in the featherweight division. Let's meet these two with Michael Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the featherweight division. This bout scheduled for 4 rounds. When the bell rings, the man in charge, referee Elmo Adol. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks with light blue trim, weighing in at 123 pounds from Houston, Texas. His record is 4-4, 3 of those 4 victories by KO. Introducing Jacob Little Red Godinez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, weighing in at 123½ pounds in the blue trunks with white trim from Tarrytown, Louisiana. He's undefeated with a record of 7-0, 3 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Aponte.
Instructions in the back. I want you to have a good, clean fight. Pay attention to my commands at all times. Shake hands, come out, fight.
So here's a look at Danny Aponte, 7-0 with 3 knockouts. And his opponent tonight comes here from Houston, Texas, Jacob Godinez, who is 4-4. First round of a 4-round fight. Underdogs have done pretty well tonight so far. And still to come, speaking of underdogs, Tony Willis will take on Ray Mercer in our main event. Ringside Report, we'll be talking to Oscar De La Hoya. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
Chock full of boxing.
Chock full.
Godinez has a pretty well-known guy in his corner, Sam Quinn, who's a fine junior welterweight.
Godinez has run into a couple of problems named Luis Leja. Only 2 fights this year have been against the same Luis Leja. And he had a technical knockout at the hands of Leja the first time in 1 round, and then he said, I want a rematch, and he got him again, and Leja knocked him out in the 2nd round.
The 3rd rematch would be ill-advised.
Yeah, that's true. Another guy who has fought very sparsely. Made his pro debut, talking about Godinez, made his pro debut, good left hand there. In 1988, fought once, fought a couple times in 89, fought a couple times in 1990, took a 1.5 years off, fought once last year, fought January, February of this year, and that was it.
Really tough for boxers when they are not having a pretty active schedule to keep their skills sharp.
In fact, Danny Aponte took 3 years off in his career also. Fought 4 fights and won them all in 1989 and 90, and then said, I'll take a rest, and came back this year in March.
Fought almost all his bouts in this area, one of them in Lake Charles, where I'm going to be headed out to when we leave here. A lot of missing going on. The punch numbers will be interesting because there is, I mean, really a lot of inaccuracy. Well, we're talking about cruiserweights. Al Cole hanging around here at ringside, the IBF cruiserweight king.
Just cruising.
Cruising around, yes. Good right hand there by Aponte.
The end of round number 1, an uneventful round. This fight originally scheduled for 6, now a 4-round fight. We'll be back right after this.
There you see the good straight right hand by Aponte as he set it up with the jab. He's got good hand speed.
2nd round, as we look at the punches in the 1st round, and Aponte doing a little bit more. And probably winning that round just on a little bit more activity. featherweights, and so there's always in these fights a lot of frenetic activity. However, in this fight, there isn't a lot of punches being landed.
Yeah, both men are very inaccurate with their punches. That flurry we saw from Aponte, there's a right hand like the one we saw. Those have been the exception to the rule. Threw that uppercut from way back, got away with it. Aponte is a pretty quick-handed fighter, though.
Yes.
Tries to lead right there, Aponte. Godinez very effective at blocking that shot. Godinez keeping his left hand pretty low, and Aponte is getting that right hand in, though.
Not a bad combination by Godinez.
Good counter punches as Aponte came in.
Break! Come on in there. Quick move.
Well, we're ahead of the game. The last time we came down to Mississippi to do boxing in a tent, we didn't make it. This tent's staying up so far.
Yeah, we're doing it on a roll here.
Because there's no storm.
Don't speak too soon.
That's right. Knock on Formica.
Yeah.
Godinez trying to counter that jab of Aponte. Both men have tried to do that. Counter over the left jab.
Aponte gives you a lot of movement, provides something of an elusive target. Godinez's best success has been as a counterpuncher as we come to the end of round number 2. And again, another one of those tough rounds to judge. We'll be back.
Hand speed. Starts it out with the left hand, then cranks up a good left hook and keeps following the combinations. Not everything landed, but he got some shots in there.
Third round. Remember, this is now a 4-round fight. It originally was scheduled for 6, but through the magic of television, it is now a 4.
Well, when you're at this level in your bouts, and in truth, if you know you're going to be on a TV card, you really have to expect that. You have to be prepared now. You know, 12 years ago, people might not have been, but now they are.
Aponte is still with a slight edge, but that edge was gained in the first round.
Godinez is now the aggressor in this fight. He's moving after Aponte. Got to be careful though, because Aponte has counterpunched him pretty well in this match.
Godinez's corner wants him to come in. That's good left hand.
Aponte getting the hook in pretty much what he wants now. Good combinations by both men.
I started to say Godinez's success came as a counterpuncher, and now he's trying to be the aggressor.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and because of that, he's getting hit with shots. Aponte has used that jab as a rangefinder. There's an example of it. Boy, he put it out there, and then the right hand came behind it.
A little better position for the uppercut that time.
You know, it's interesting. When Aponte uses the jab in a, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say a sincere manner, when he really wants to put it out there, even just as a rangefinder, and something's supposed to follow behind it, it always does. But when you see him just flick the jab out in a meaningless way, then that's when he gets countered. And Aponte probably winning this round with a lot of those good shots. Oh, my.
Nice shot. The right hand hurt Godinez.
Good job of holding on by Godinez, and he may survive this round. Elmo Adolph, perfect referee. Gave him a chance and then moved in.
Coming to the end of the third round, and Godinez apparently is going to get through it. End of the round, and he did get through it, and we'll be back. Barry Tompkins with Al Bernstein at Casino Magic here in Bay St. Louis. A reminder, the NFL coming up.
Hugh Millen doing a very fine job in the replacement of Aikman down there.
Well, he's a capable quarterback. Yeah. He came out of a system, University of Washington. Don James teaches a pro-style system. Went to New England, served some time as a starting quarterback. Through 3 rounds, Aponte with a decided edge now.
And hurt Godinez in the last round, but didn't knock him down. So if it wasn't a 10-8 round, then he still is in a position maybe where this could easily be a draw if you gave one of the rounds to Godinez. Well, Aponte had him hurt with about 25 seconds left in the last round. Could not get him down. Will that cost him ultimately in the decision?
It's interesting. Aponte has now slipped twice right in that same corner of the ring there. It's right at the edge of, you see the Budweiser sign, which is painted on the mat and can get slippery, especially in the humidity that we have here.
Donald Curry, who's in the building here when he defended his title against Jung Suk Wang, they had the paint literally painted on the day of the fight because the logo didn't come. They had hand dryers out there before the fight trying to dry it off. And I always felt that Curry was the quick fighter. Wang was kind of slow. I said, well, at least Wang could track him if he
That's right.
couldn't get near him.
Like those dance steps.
Yeah, exactly. Put the little prints on the floor. It's been a very even fight, and it's had its moments. Both men have had their turns at landing big flurries. Only Godinez hurt, though, in the last round.
Hurt with a very solid right hand.
Excellent, yeah.
Aponte.
Both men keep their heads straight up a lot. Don't tuck their chins in. That's why they're getting nailed with big shots.
Coming down to the end of the final round now. Aponte and Godinez, and this one is over. This time, goodwill in both corners. It's not always the case tonight.
This young man, Godinez, probably did not do enough to win, but then don't go by me, folks.
I think this time, though, you were absolutely right.
Good fight. No, it was Godinez put forth a good effort in this bout, but both men were really just a brick shy of the load in terms of really getting it done. But Aponte probably won the fight.
Well, a reminder that Ringside Report tonight, we're going to have Oscar De La Hoya join us, talk a little bit about how his career is going, how his hand is, coming off some hand problems. Things go according to the way he plans it, as people plan it. We're going to see him in October as you look at Aponte, who we feel won the fight, but as we said, don't go by us. There is the other half of this matchup. Jacob Godinez.
Michael Buffer checking the scorecards to make sure they are accurate.
All right, let's find out. Here's Mike.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Bill Moran scores about 39-37. Martin Casino scores about 39-37. And Chester Como also has about 39-37 for the winner by unanimous decision, Danny Aponte.
Well, we got one right here, as Aponte is the winner, and he's the winner by 2 points on all cards, and that seems just about fair and right. Aponte, the winner over Godinez. We'll be back. Mercer, a man with a whole lot to prove, both in and out of the ring, takes on Tony Willis after this. Casino Magic in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi tonight. And we come now to our main event. This is a 10-round fight in the heavyweight division. Tony Willis, who defines the term journeyman, taking on Ray Mercer, who, as we said, is a man who has a whole lot to prove.
This is the way we most often pictured Ray Mercer in our mind when his name would come up. But now, unfortunately, this is what sticks in our mind. Shadows hanging over him because of an accusation.
Indictment charges that Mercer, the 1988 heavyweight Olympic gold medalist, offered to bribe Jesse Ferguson throughout their 10-round bout.
That travail aside, boxing has been enough of a roller coaster ride for Mercer. He knocked out Dave Hopkins early, but most of his major bouts were wars, like this win over Bert Cooper. He took a beating from Francesco Damiani for 8 rounds, but found lightning in a bottle in the 9th and won the WBO title. He also had to come back against Tommy Morrison, but when he did, it was spectacular. He was on the verge of a big fight with Evander Holyfield. But that one would go away with this shocking loss to Larry Holmes, and Ray's confidence, they have gone with it. After a meaningless win over Wimpy Halstead, the worst indignity, a terrible performance against Jesse Ferguson by an out-of-shape Mercer, and the alleged bribe offer. But with it all, tonight, he says, I'll be ready.
Like working the body, you know, throwing the jab, throwing combinations, being in shape, it's real combination. So I really feel good about myself and the training. When I go in the ring, you know, every fighter always asks himself, did you do all the right things? Did you do everything you're supposed to do? This time I'll be able to answer myself and say yes.
31-year-old Tony Willis is a cruiserweight in a heavyweight body. Cruiserweights he can definitely beat, like Lauren Ross. And sometimes he can handle heavyweights too, like Jimmy Ellis. Tony used his hand speed and combinations to win this one. And it's this quickness that Tony hopes will help him beat Ray Mercer tonight. And he'll need all of that quickness to get the job done. But sometimes quickness isn't enough. Lionel Butler was a little too powerful.